Hello and thank you for your submission. In your essay, you can see some sections are highlighted in red. That means the grammar is incorrect. Some sections we need to add something. The grammar is incomplete. And some sections in green, that means the vocabulary is incorrect. We're going to check the vocabulary. Some sections you can see I have given you another sentence. I have written in a more advanced way. You can use this style of writing to increase and get a higher score in your essay. Let's begin. Students should not get married until they complete their studies. Do you agree, disagree? I think. Yes? Marriage is one most important parts. Here is where you need to use one of the most important parts because you are talking about one of the most important. We're using the superlative adjective. One of the most important parts of one's life. Instead of saying parts, you can use the word chapters, more advanced. One of the most important chapters of one's life. It's like our life is a book. So we have started a new chapter. Everyone wants to find an appropriate person or spouse to have children. Okay, instead of saying have, you can use a more advanced word, and that is bear. To bear children is the same meaning as have children. It's more advanced. This is the verb. The noun bear is an animal. The verb bear, it means to have children. So, to bear children, when we use the word bear children, we need a preposition. Bear children with. You need an appropriate person to bear children with and have a happy family. This is a very good sentence, but this is a more advanced sentence. Finding an appropriate spouse and bearing children is arguably every person's dream. So because I've started my sentence with a verb, it has to be ing, gerund. Finding an appropriate spouse and, again, gerund, bearing children is arguably, possibly, maybe, every person's dream. This is a very good, more advanced sentence. But everybody agrees with the statement that education is also significant because sometimes it defines our position in life and our economic condition. Economic is incorrect because economic is used for the government. You're not talking about the government, you're talking about a family. So we use financial, not economic. And we don't use condition, we use status, our financial status or possibly situation. Our financial status or our financial situation. In most cases, marriage prevents students from getting appropriate education. The collocation is get an education. So here we need an article an. We get an education. That is how it is used. Get an education. And obviously you have used an adjective there as well, which is fine. Now we have changed this sentence. In most cases, marriage can be a barrier in obtaining an education. This means in most cases, marriage can make it difficult to get an education. So this is a bit more advanced. Earning necessary skills for, you have adjective, you have countable noun, so we need article. An independent life and having long time marriage. Long time should be two words, and long time is not an adjective. Lifelong is an adjective. So having a lifelong marriage. And also, again, because you have an adjective, you have a countable noun, we need the article. Having a lifelong marriage is what we need. Now, I've changed having a lifelong marriage to sharing a lifelong partnership. We used the word marriage before, so we don't want to use it again. We want to use a synonym. Sharing a lifelong partnership. Okay, let's move down. When young boy, again, you have adjective, countable noun, so we need article. When a young boy and girl get married, they have a child. Very good. Let's change it a little bit to make it more advanced. The result of a marriage between a boy and girl is a child. The same sentence, but more advanced. This case may prevent especially girls from completing their studies. Especially has to come at the beginning or at the end of your sentence, not in the middle. So we use the word specifically, and it has to come after the subject or the noun that you're talking about. This case may prevent girls specifically from completing their studies. Okay, so we're going to get rid of those brackets. So especially comes at the beginning or the end of a sentence. Because they have to take care of their children and don't have time to get education, what? If you start a sentence with because, you need comma and you need to continue your sentence. So if your sentence here is finishing, you cannot start with because. We have to continue the last sentence with since. Since means because, but we are continuing that sentence. Since they have to, another way, make it more formal, are expected to, which is passive, take care of their children and don't have time to get education. Education has got to have an article, get an education. Consequently, very good, we need comma. An uneducated person has a lesser chance. Not has less chance, has a lesser chance. That is correct. A lesser chance to get a job. When we talk about chance, have a greater chance or a lesser chance, we use of, not to. So we have to say a lesser chance of getting a job. A greater chance of, a lesser chance of getting a job. And because you have a preposition, your verb has to be ing, getting a job, which is really not desirable. That's okay, but we can change it, which is far from desirable. That means it is not desirable for everyone. Your sentence is negative. It is not desirable. So we need to use anyone, not everyone. If your sentence is negative, it has a negative meaning, we use anyone. Our parents provide us with love, affection, and we depend on them economically during our childhood. So you are not in your childhood anymore. Childhood is the past simple. So our parents, this has to be past simple tense, provided us with love, affection, and we depend on them. Again, financially, economic is for the government. Financially, during our childhood. We need punctuation before but. So we need a comma. Punctuation means comma. But then we have to earn skills. Earn, you don't earn skills, you earn money. You adopt skills. That means when you learn a new skill and you use it. To adopt skills for independent life. Again, I have adjective, countable noun, so I have to have an article, an independent life. To find a job and take care of ourselves in our own, no, on our own. Take care of ourselves on our own. Very good. During early marriage. Early marriage, we're not going to say during, we're going to say in. In early marriage. Okay. And early marriage, again, adjective, countable noun, so I need an article. In an early marriage, you don't have a job and you depend on your parents. That's why you may. Now, this is very informal. You use this in conversation. We need to keep it very academic. Which is why, we keep the same sentence, which is why you may lose one O. You may lose a chance or the chance. We're talking about a specific chance. Lose the chance to learn how to live independently. Very good. Okay, let's move down. So these mainly are to do with prepositions or articles. When you have to live at the expense with E, when you have to live at the expense of someone, that's not very convenient. Okay, let's make it more formal. Living at someone else's expense is by no means convenient. That means it is not convenient at all. It's a different way of saying is not very convenient. We say is by no means, with the adjective, is by no means convenient. Probably we all have noticed. Okay, so probably needs to move. Let's bring the subject at the beginning of the sentence. We have all, and then you have probably. Probably, maybe, always, definitely. These adverbs go before your main verb. We have all probably noticed that our desires and opinions about some things are not constant. You cannot start a sentence with and. That is incorrect. We start a sentence with for instance because you are giving an example. For instance, something we liked before is not appealing to us now, or something we considered as a beauty now is ordinary for us. If you talk about it, something that is a beauty, we don't need it. Is ordinary for us. I want to explain that aspirations and desires are mutable. This is very good, but this should be your topic sentence. This should be all the way here at the beginning of your paragraph. This, again, is one of the most, we need a verb, this is one of the most common reasons why, we don't need that, one of the most common reasons why marriage is not always successful and some couples divorce. In a different way, some couples ends in some couples divorcing. That's a different way of saying it. And finally,